Okay, so here is my 70 Javelin Trans Am Special Edition car, and I'm planning to get the rear section painted blue. And as ironic as it would be, my Muscle Car Review magazine just came in the mail, and they've got a Trans Am Javelin in it. So there's some more reference material for me. Got plenty of photos I've been looking at online. But here's a really good shot of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to paint it. And I like this particular shot of the car. Its angle shows me really well that it does go above the window and right by the Javelin script, and it's really straight on. There's another picture in here that you can see that's a side shot straight on, and you can see it's really straight, which kind of makes it challenging because you're trying to paint a straight line on a curved surface. So with that said, here's what I'm going to use to mask it. I got a couple of different 3M fine line tapes. This one is 1/8 inch wide, and I've also got 3M that's 1/16 inch wide. Prefer the wider the line, the harder it is to actually bend and shape, so you can keep it straighter. But I'm going to go with this particular one right here. I keep it in the bags to keep any kind of lint and debris off the sides of it. I'm going to need a pretty long section. I'm going to try and do this in one shot, one piece of tape. So that being the case, here's my body, and I'm going to lay it right across the roof, following where the actual line is, and then follow it straight right by the emblem. Push that down in there, push that down in there, and then go straight down to the wheel molding. Kind of liking how that laid down. A little amazed that that laid down just like that fast and easy. Now on to the next side. Push it down into the areas. And this has fully been washed and ready and prepped. Some of these areas are going to be really difficult to keep the paint from overspraying and getting into some of that. Now, another thing I like to do with my extra tape is I will fold it over like so, get myself a nice little handle to pull, and I'll fold that up underneath. This side's a bit long, so I'm going to cut the extra. Okay, now let's fold that over, fold that up underneath, like so. Okay. That's all pushed up underneath. Now the rest of it, now the white section is only from the door handle roughly to here. The rest of this is going to get painted red, so the front half of this will be all red. But I want to keep all the overspray of the blue off of these areas, especially the white section. Not always easy, and I think I'll constantly be pushing the tape down in these areas to make sure that it sticks really well. The other danger is if it does stick really well, hopefully it does not lift the white paint off. So the next step, so I'm going to take my blue painter's tape and I'm going to cover the white section that I don't want getting paint on it. It's turning away, but also I'm going to plug the rear window. The more you control the overspray when you paint, the better off your paint job will come out. Paint is going to get up in here. I don't want it on the windows, so I'm going to completely block off the inside. But I do want some of the blue overspray in the wheel well, up in here. I'll probably black all of this out once I get paint on it. But right now I want to keep mainly protecting any of the white overspray. Even though most of those areas will get covered with the bare metal foil, and it's really not that big of a deal. But still, the better your masking job, the better it's going to be. Might be a bit overkill, but when it comes to how it comes out, that's the best bet. Okay, get that. And one more strip right here. There we go. I'll come over to the front. Push all of that down. The wrinkles covered. Okay. And I'm going to put one more strip over the front here. And if you do get paint on some areas that you don't want paint after the fact, you can a lot of times use rubbing compound, polish those areas out, sometimes color sand, and get those areas taken care of before you actually lay down any more paint. Once you clear over it, it's pretty much sealed in. Let's get the side section where it didn't quite completely follow. There we go. And then also this side. I have made the mistake of not carefully looking at my tape and noticing that I didn't quite get it everywhere I wanted it to be completely covered and hopefully protected. So hopefully that's going to do it. Pretty happy with how that's masked out, so I think I'll prepare my area outside, my work area, and get it painted. Now the real car is Commodore Blue, they call it. And it's a metallic color. The closest thing I have in my paint stash is this Arctic Blue Metallic by Model Master. Looks like a pretty good match for this and even some of the other photos that I have for reference. So I'm going to thin this out, put it in my airbrush, and I'm going to spray this along with the spoiler piece, which I've already mounted to a piece of cardboard. This one's going to be a little difficult, so I'm going to paint the bottom side first, and then once it dries I'll paint the top side as well, and then once I get to the clear coating stage I'll clear the bottom, let that dry. Going over, getting ready to shoot the blue on the back of my Javelin here, but I figured I would also go over some of my quick setup here, since this is a 2x4 that I've made with some coat hanger, and I use that to hold the bodies, put the bodies on. Got a couple of them made, but that's what pretty much hold the body with, or like the cardboard holding the spoiler. And then I'll do miscellaneous parts this way as well. And then here's my airbrush. This is what I'm using to shoot today. Got a steel ball in the mixing jar to agitate it, keep stirring it up, especially when I got metallics. This is a Grex Tritium airbrush. Really like it. Got a quick connect air hose at the bottom. Kind of makes it really neat. And then you can adjust how much you spray. It's not my first airbrush. I've had a couple of different ones. Badger 150s was what I used previously till I bought this one. Got an on-demand air compressor down there, which is also Grex. Came as a combo. But really like this airbrush. One of my favorite features is if the nose gets clogged, especially when you're spraying metallics, you put your finger on it and it'll backfeed and it'll blow the air back through. So now I'm going to mix the paint, get this ready to go, and we'll start shooting here. Alright, so now that I got my paint ready, mixed up, I'll spray some test shots here on the cardboard. I'll start doing some light coats on the spoiler here. The ends and miscellaneous different angles, and then now we'll do the back half of the body. One more quick inspection, make sure the tape is down where I want it to be. That it hasn't lifted anywhere. And then I'm ready to proceed. Just doing some light coats. And get a few light coats on the inside where the wheel wells are. Make sure I get the rockers really well. Give that a minute. Give it some side to side. When you're painting, always make sure you go past what you're painting. Keep your strokes smooth. Alright, and then let's do some more on the body here. Try and get all angles. Try and keep it in the camera's view because I'm not used to filming while I'm airbrushing. I'm really liking how that's coming out. Alright. Okay, that's the final coat for that side of the spoiler. That's good. Final coat on this. Go on the inside again. Airbrush starting to spitter. Looks like, yeah, I'm running out of paint. Okay, put that down on my airbrush compressor. Let's see how we did. Let's see. Liking the shine on that. Pretty good coats. Now let it dry. And we'll see how she comes out. Okay. Well, it has been a few days and the blue is painted and dried, and now it's time to mask off the red area. It's much like the blue section, trying to get it as straight as you possibly can. So I'm using the door handles as my reference because it runs right by them and it's nice and square. So if I get it nice and straight by the door handle and straight up and down the door here, I'll have a nice paint line. It's looking pretty good right there. And I will get this tucked into the raise here in the door jamb. Try and keep the overspray from getting in there. Same thing up here at the top of the door. Kind of guaranteed I'm going to get overspray in here. It tends to lift. When I get it lined up with the other door and pull it straight across. A little bit of lint here. Get that picked up with the tape. Alright, let's fold this over and continue on. Alright, let's pull it straight across the roof, get it lined up with the other door handle. And that should give me a nice straight line. Kind of tricky when there isn't a straight body panel, everything is curved. I'm trying to get a straight line here. This tape does stick down really, really well. There we go. Get that tucked into the indentions there. And into the jamb. Coming out pretty straight. Looks pretty good to me. Alright. Now I'll start masking in for any of the overspray. So I don't want any overspray on the white section here. Alright. I think that looks pretty good. Get the blue masking tape and start masking off the areas I don't want any of the overspray. Cover the blue section and the white middle section, and get the red sprayed on the forward section. Often wonder where AMC came up with the idea, let's put the lines right here. The red section be from the doors forward. Kind of an unusual paint scheme for a race car. That's too big. We'll get this covered up. Fold it under pretty good here. This part can be time consuming, masking and trying to get everything straight. A little nerve wracking sometimes. Other times you just gotta go for it. And if you get any areas or things, you just go and fix them later. Alright, let's start covering the insides of the windows here. trying to keep the overspray and the red overspray from getting on the inside. I mentioned before, but the better you control the airflow and where the overspray goes, the better your paint job's going to be. Okay. Got one last piece here to fill in the middle of the windshield, and then we'll tuck it down and get this thing sprayed. Okay. Oh! Just cracked the A-pillar. If you notice that. Oh. Brittle 50-year-old Johann plastic. Looks like it's a clean break. Alright, we're going to have to... Oh boy. So, get this lint here. I think I need to give myself a breather and figure out how I'm gonna deal with this. First time I've had it actually do that while I'm masking, but hopefully it doesn't break when I peel the masking back some more. Right now it's just got one clean break right there. Let's push the masking away and see. Yeah, it's a nice clean break. Should just be able to re-glue it. Try not to touch it. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna set this down. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna set this down and. Well, as these old Johann kits go, since the 8-pillar on this one cracked on me while I was taping it, because they're old and brittle, we'll get that super glued real quick. I like to put my super glue on a piece of tape and put it right on the toothpick to apply it, and then we'll get it to the back side here. Give that a moment to dry. That's how some of these restorations go sometimes. Things happen unexpectedly. It's the first time I've ever had one crack while I'm masking. I have had them crack before while I'm handling. But, yeah, it's 50-year-old plastic. So while we're giving that a moment to dry, I'll move these, since I painted all these. Gave these items their first coats yesterday. These I'm making little holes because these are pinned. I'll push them through the cardboard and stick it right to the tape. I'll give the hood a quick color sanding. A little too much overspray and texture. So I wanted to make sure it was smooth for the next layer of paint. So right now I'm going to let it dry. Set it off to the side. This good and dry, so let me put the masking back up. That's pretty much ready for paint. So we'll go outside and shoot that. The blue here, a little bit more of an umbrella for overspray. Yeah, I think that's ready for the red paint. Well, here we are. Finished spraying the red. Didn't bother filming airbrushing the red portion, as it was the same as airbrushing the blue portion that I filmed. But I just wanted to show you the result. It's still drying, so this is going to go back into the garage and in the heat and continue to dry. But real pleased with how it came out. I've got some areas where there's a little bit of blue overspray in here, a little bit of red overspray. I will polish those out before. I also got a little bit of texture or whatnot. I'll do probably a little bit of color sanding to that. More in the red than anything else. And then you can kind of see the dullness in the white where the tape was. That tends to appear when I use the 3M tape. It goes away. Like, you cannot see it anymore where the blue was. I sprayed the blue a couple of days ago. But where the red is, you can still see the tape, but it will disappear. Also, you can see the A-pillar. Still, there's a small fine line from where it cracked on me when I was painting and masking. But overall, it came out really nice. Got a little bit of overspray in the jam here. Really nothing I can do about that. Got a lot of overspray right there. But I will polish that out and make that as faint as possible. Also got some in that corner right there that you can see. But no polishing. This is right after unmasking. But real happy with this. So for the colors I had used, the white section is Scale Finishes, Dover White. It's actually left over from my 69 Camaro pace car project. I actually sprayed that like 6 months ago on the white section. But the blue, as I mentioned, is Tester's Arctic Blue Metallic. And then the red section, I used Tester's Model Master Italian Red. I had tried, I got Chrysler Engine Red, but it was a little too dark. And I really like the Italian Red. It's a little more red. Pretty close to Matador Red. But really happy with it. And I also got some time. And I reshot and shot these. Here in Arizona, the sun dried the hood really fast. But still need some polishing out or whatnot, but really liking the way it's coming out. So I'm going to go put these back in the garage, let them dry for a couple of days, and I'll move on to something else. Also, I was mentioning the taillight. I got a little bit of time, and I also sprayed both sides of the taillight, the stoplight red, because I saw I put this in the stripper and stripped the red paint off of it, so it was pretty much clear. But now that is stoplight red.